Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Christina, aka Northwest Reader, and this is going to be my reading 3 horror novels, but this edition is going to be of just women. February is the month of women in horror, so yay. I've been mostly reading women horror writers this month, and I tried to focus mostly on Black women who are authors, and especially if they write horror, because I know like the more popular authors who are Black that are women, and I wanted to branch out and read, I guess, lesser known, to me anyways, not as popular, I would say, maybe, in the horror genre, because I'm still learning all about the genre and I'm new to it, so the authors are new to me. So I chose 3 different books, but I think I'm gonna read 4 because I started reading a NetGalley one. It's a woman, a horror writer it's a YA, and oh my goodness, it is so YA. I started it and I don't know how I feel about it. So I don't know if it's going to be a DNF for me. So I picked another novel. So we'll see. But so the first book I'm going to mention, I actually started it a couple days ago, or yesterday actually, and the author was kind enough to send me a little swag package, which I love. And she's super sweet. I follow her on like Instagram and Twitter. And the book is Monstrosity by Laura Diaz de Arce. It's just a collection of short stories, essentially. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. The one I just read is all about a woman who has this uncontrollable rage in her, and girl, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. But look at this cover. Look how gorgeous it is. It's beautiful. But I've been wanting to read this for a while now. I got this last year, and yeah, I just hopped into it. I also have the e-version of it because it's on Kindle Unlimited right now. So I downloaded it, which helps because I do love physically reading books, but whenever I like go outside and read by the pellet fire or something, I prefer my e-reader instead of struggling to read with a physical book copy with my book light and stuff, because it's a pain. But this is one of the books for this reading vlog. Next, the one that I started that I mentioned earlier is a NetGalley book I was approved for, and it's The Devil's Tree by Susan McCauley. This is the one that's YA, and I didn't realize it was YA until I started getting into the story, and the main character so far is so frustratingly annoying. I'm not a fan of hers. All she does is just say bad things about her friends and just nasty. She's just a nasty person, so I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it, but we'll see. Yeah, it's just about this haunted evil tree, and her friends go do a ghost hunt type of thing, and yeah, things happen. Yeah, I think I'm like 15% in so far, and right now I'm not a big fan of it, but that's my fault. I didn't realize it was a YA. I'm not the biggest fan of YAs, but what can you do? And the next book that I want to read for this vlog is True Crime by Samantha Kulsnick. I got this from her. I purchased it, and you see, if you're part of the horror community at all, you've seen this cover. You've seen this book. And this is about siblings who leave an abusive home and go cross-country traveling, and they end up murdering people, or I don't know. It sounds interesting, but yeah, I'm super pumped to get into this one. And oh, this is funny. Ketchum Plumbing. Stop leaks before they stop you. 24/7 service, and it has a phone number on it. And yeah, going to be really good, I think. And I love like serial killer stuff, murder mysteries, true crime stuff, things like that. It's just perfect. And the other book that I want to read, it's actually really short, so that's why I have more than my 3 than I normally do. It's a novelette, and it is called Roost by Moss-Dyme. I read one of her other stories, like short novelettes, earlier this month. It's called Baby Mine, and I thought it was pretty good. I discovered her this month. She's a black woman who writes horror normally, mostly I believe, and I like her writing style, and it's a creepy story. The Baby Mine story was pretty creepy, and yeah, I look forward to this. I don't know anything about it. I like the cover. I like how simple it is. So, and again, it's super short, but I wanted to read another one of her stories. She also has a short story collection called Daymares, I believe, that I want to read at some point, but I didn't want to read another short story collection for this reading vlog. I figured with Monstrosity Array being a short story collection, that's all I wanted to kind of stick with for now. And I'm also reading a little bit throughout this month, The One That Got Away, which is a short story collection also. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I'm reading, or my cat is flipping out behind me. Stop. So that's pretty much all that I'm reading for this reading vlog. I'm super excited to get into these. I hope everyone else is supporting women in horror this month. I think it is an awesome thing, and women should be recognized, especially women of color and black women and stuff like that who write horror, because it's such, from my experience, my limited experience, it's very heavy in the it's very heavy in the male perspective in horror, so it's refreshing to read some female writers. So anyways, so this is it. My cat is flipping out, and so is my lighting. Anyways, I'm gonna go read and stuff. So I will update you when I have something to update. And the sun is just doing the most. So okay, bye. Hello, it has been a minute. Ugh. My goodness. So, as you can tell, it's been a little bit of time. I have dark hair again. So, I haven't been reading a ton. I have recently, like in the last couple days, I've picked up reading again because life has just been crazy for me. Just real quick, as most of you guys know, I have now a 17-month-old, and there's a thing called 18-month sleep regression, and it is, from what I've read, is like one of the worst sleep regressions that a kid can go through. And it is absolutely, has been awful for about a week, almost 2 weeks. My son has been waking up at 5 in the morning every morning and just fighting naps and just being grumpy and not eating, and all he wants to do is just run around and play, which is fine, but it has just been a time. So exhausting, and not being able to like sleep. Like I've been losing sleep. So when I do have a moment to just like relax and possibly read, all I want to do is nap and sleep also, or watch trash television, because that is my escape whenever it's chaotic like this. And he has recently, in the last few days, kind of gone back to normal, thank goodness. But yeah, with him just walking around, talking more, teeth coming in, it disrupts his sleep cycle, and he's just super active and nightmare. But I have read, like I said, in the last few days, so I figured I would update a little bit. So this book, which is like super, I'm sorry my lighting is not the best, but it's nighttime. Susan McCauley's The Devil's Tree. Yeah, it's a NetGalley arc that I received, and it's definitely a YA horror ghost story, I guess. And I am not a fan of it so far. Like right now, it's like maybe a 2-star. And I know it's a YA, so I'm in my mid-30s, so it's hard for me to relate to this main character, but the main character is so unlikable to the up team. Like, she is the most selfish, bratty character I have ever read. And that's saying a lot because I've read the first book of the After series by Anna Todd, and she's annoying and very just immature, but this girl is amazingly worse. Like, I can't stand her, and I'm about halfway through and I'm just wanting it to end. Like, that's where I'm at with it. Like, it's so immature, and I just don't know. Like, I feel like I've read YA novels where it's not as bad as this. Not as bad. I don't want to say that. And when I say bad, I mean like super young. And I just feel like it reads as super young, and I'm just not in the demographic whatsoever. But I'm waiting to get to the end just to see how it ends. So maybe if the ending is interesting, I'll give it a higher rating. But it's because I know it's just not for my demographic. So, and I didn't realize it until after the fact when I started reading it. And I'm just like, not liking it, but I will get through it. And the other book that I want to read is Roost, a novelette by Moss-Dyme. I haven't gotten to this one yet. I was trying to get through the E-Arc one first and then get to this one. I'm almost halfway through Monstrosity. I'm really enjoying all the short stories. My favorite one so far is the girl with like the rage problem, because it was like perfect timing, because I was just super angry and exhausted when I was reading that little short story, and it just was for me at the time. And then the other book I was wanting to get to is True Crime by Samantha Kolsnick. I haven't gotten to this one yet. My son got a hold of the book though, so it's like it opens quite easily now. He has been obsessed with these two books, more so this one, but he didn't try to destroy it at least. But this one he was just having fun opening it and playing with it, and I just try to let him do his thing. If he's not ripping the pages out, I'm content. So he didn't do that. But yes, so these are the books that I'm still trying to get through, and I plan on knocking these out here and like hopefully in the next week, now that things are finally settling down. And like, yeah, because I rely so heavily on going out after baby goes to bed, going out to the pellet fire, having a pellet fire and enjoying, relaxing, drinking some tea and reading and just breathing. But my goodness, it has been a challenge. And yes, I was blonde and I went back to dark, so now it's like a dark reddish auburny look. You can't really tell right now because it's so dark in here, but I like it. I feel a little bit more comfortable. I felt very vitamin C. Yes, so that's fun. But I still gotta film my wrap up from 2 months, so good times. And I have so many books that I look forward to reading in the month of March, which, by the way, we're in the month of March as I'm filming this, so yay. Anyways, that's it. I hope you guys are having better time than me. But yeah, that's my update, and I will let you go. My hair is so staticky. Reading update, shall we? Boy. So I finished The Devil's Tree by Susan McCauley, and I wasn't a fan of it. I gave it 3 stars. So it's a YA, which I get. Totally get YA, and I am not in that demographic. But usually I can at least find some entertainment from a YA, but this I was just not getting it at all. And the horror of it, it wasn't super scary or anything like that, which is fine. But it's the thing that gets me is the main character was one of the most unlikable characters I've ever read. Hands down. Like, she grew a little bit by the end of the book, but it was just so intolerable. Her flip-floppiness and her, oh, woe is me, and it was just too much at certain points. And I get the grieving process and all that, but I just could not stand her whatsoever. And I was so happy once the book was done. Like, towards the end, I was just skimming because I didn't care what the character had to think or had to say. I just wanted to know what was going to happen, and that was it. I did not want the character's input on anything. I did not care how she felt. I was just over it. So, but then I take it, because if it wasn't for a YA, it would have been like a 2-star for me. But since it's a YA, and I know it's just not my demographic, and it's just not what I usually like. So yeah, 3 stars. I guess I didn't read into the description very well whenever I requested on NetGalley. So I mean, that's my fault. But yeah, and I'm like totally fine with characters not being likable at all. I enjoy characters that aren't likable, but just she was just a nasty character. She was just a nasty person, and I was so vapid, and I just could not stand it. And just her thoughts about people, like how they look, and I just wasn't feeling it. Not at all. So yeah. Ugh. Monstrosity, I'm about halfway through. I've been taking my time with it because it's a short story collection, so I didn't want to rush it. And I'm still loving it so far. So far, I'm like at a 4.5 with it. Depending on how the other stories go, it might just be a 5-star for me. But I love the author's writing style, and it's funny because I started one story that it was very like a fairy tale story, and I was just, oh gosh, I'm not gonna like this. I already know I'm not gonna like it. But once I got deeper into it, I was really into it. I think it's called Swamp King, I want to say. But I was thinking, oh, this isn't like my type of story. I'm not gonna like not fantasy, but like fairy tale stuff. I was like, oh, this isn't gonna be for me. But by the end of it, I was like, oh my gosh, I really love this one. So good job, Laura. Good job. And then last night I read and finished a short story by Moss-Dyme, and it was Roost. I gave it 5 stars. I really liked it. Yeah, it's super short. It's on Kindle Unlimited, I believe, is how I read it. But it's about these 4 guys who are going to rob someone at this like hotel, and it wasn't like what happened. I wasn't expecting. I guess I didn't know what to expect, but it was eerie, and it was just so atmospheric. I felt like I was there, and it was creepy, and I enjoyed it so much. It reminded me a lot of like Tales from the Dark Side and stuff like that, like those short little scary movies, features. So yeah, I love her writing. It's so good. She's like starting to be like one of my favorites. And I saw she had put up a lot of Amazon short stories on Goodreads I saw this, so I was like trying to find them, and I cannot find them on Amazon anymore, so I don't know what that's about, but meh. But yeah, so I read that and I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna start True Crime by Samantha Kolsnick pretty soon. I don't know if I should start that and then just continue on with Laura's slowly, or just finish Laura's book and then go into True Crime. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. My kid is refusing to nap today. I filmed my January and February wrap-ups. Oh my gosh, so many books. So my throat is like, ugh, from talking so much and being so dry and cold. So yeah, I've been like also reading and listening to other books while filming this and doing this reading vlog. So maybe that's probably why it's taken me so long also, because I am such a mood reader and I'm just all over the place with my reading. Like right now I'm reading Betty and it is ripping my heart out so much, so much. But I'm getting the hype. I'm getting the hype. My kid is just flailing around in his crib right now. Anyways, so that's my update. Once I have more to update you with, I will update. Until then, I don't know. Relax. Hello. I just got out of the shower. And I feel like every time I do these vlogs, it's always me just bathing for the first time in like 3 days. I'm disgusting. Okay, so I have the dishwasher going, I have the dryer going, I have a bunch of stuff running behind me right now because it is Friday and I am trying to catch up on all my chores. So, good times. Hello, this is my little mini update. I am feeling pretty good today. Of course, while doing this reading vlog, I have gone off the beaten path and have read and finished multiple books on the side while reading Monstrosity, and haven't picked up True Crime yet. But True Crime is next because I finished Monstrosity, and for some reason every time I say Monstrosity, it makes me think of System of the Down's Toxicity. So every time I talk about, because I tell my husband about the books I'm reading, I'm like, the monstrosity of our city, of our city. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna give this book 5 stars. She's good. She is a good writer. Every single story in here, I was entertained in some type of way, or I got something from the story. A lot of times I will read short stories or a short story collection, and I'll enjoy the stories, but sometimes it is what it is type of story, you know? So, but this was, all of them were good in one way or another. The one, I forget, I think the biggest one, or the one that surprised me the most, that I didn't think I was going to like but ended up liking, I may have mentioned this earlier, I don't even remember, this vlog has been going on forever, but the Swamp King, like a fairy, I feel like I did talk about this, a fairy tale, and I'm like not into that type of stuff, but it ended up capturing my attention. And if I brought this up earlier and I'm bringing it up again, that tells you I'm still thinking about it, because it's been a couple weeks since I read that story. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I think my most favorite is towards the beginning. I'm going to say it's the 3 beats per measure. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the epitome of rage in it, and just how it's trying to be controlled, and she can't control her rage anymore and just unleashes, and it's awesome. I love this story so much. I don't really want to say too much about the stories because they're short, and you can't really say a whole lot without spoiling anything, but I highly recommend this. This is like female empowerment, I want to say. It just makes me proud, I guess, to read a female horror writer's book and it being genuinely scary at times and surprising and just good all around, you know. So I'm just, thank you so much for the book, and I'm definitely going to reread this at some point because it was entertaining. Like, I took my time with it because I just didn't want it to end. This was my go-to whenever, because I have the e-version also. Whenever, like right before bed, I would just read a story and then that's it. I wouldn't binge read all of them because I realized, especially with the one that got away, I would, even though those short stories were longer than these, a lot of them were, I would blend the stories or the themes or something like that together too much to where I would get mushed up later on trying to discuss it or to think of my review and stuff like that. So I took my time with this instead of just sitting and reading the whole thing in one sitting. I enjoyed all the characters in it. I don't really have much of a negative thing to say about it, quite honestly. And usually there's like one thing maybe that I'll be like, oh, I wasn't really into that, but this was a lot of fun. Like, and the cover is gorgeous. I love the cover. I actually did my own version of the cover for my upcoming post that I'm going to do for a review for this. I'm kind of waiting until I at least get this somewhat edited. That's why it's taking me so long to post it. I highly recommend Monstrosity by Laura Diaz de Arce. And plus she's like so sweet, the author. I follow her on everything pretty much. Yeah, pretty much everything. I'm a stalker, I guess. But she posts a lot of TikTok videos and stuff like that, so you should definitely go follow her. Very good. Thank you again, Laura. I love it. So, I'm finally going to read True Crime by Samantha Kulsnick. Yeah, I look forward to this. I need to get into it. I'm kind of in the mood for a story like this. So, like a true crime, I feel like it's kind of a thriller mystery, if I am to suspect, but we shall see. I look forward to diving in. My baby is asleep right now. Knock on wood. So I think I'm going to go outside and enjoy the sun and sit in the sun and try to get some of that vitamin in me and read a little bit of true crime, dive into it. But okay, that's it. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to read and enjoy my quiet time as long as I can. Okay, bye. Hello. So, it's been a few days, but quick update. I was able to read more of true crime and I'm about halfway through and holy crap, so much is happening, like crazy amount. And spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. It's interesting to read because there is incest, molestation, stuff like that in this book. And it's interesting to read about a woman being the predator and a woman and a different woman being the victim. So totally different, totally interesting. I mean, it's obviously content warnings. but just having the main character being female, and even then I feel like she's having issues with her gender. I'm not 100% sure yet, just based off of what she is thinking and feeling. But just seeing, essentially she's like a serial killer and just seeing her go through all this stuff, and then just, I don't know, it's you can almost tell that this is a female author. I don't even know how to explain it yet, or you know, because I feel like when it's male authors and there is sexual violence in some type of way, it is so heavily, you can tell it's heavily their interpretation of what a woman might feel, or I don't know how to describe it yet, but this is different. And it's like, even though it's a really messed up book and there's a lot of things wrong, like subject matter in this, it has a lot of issues, and there's terrible things that happen to people in this, but it's just interesting to see this type of perspective of a female lead and her being victimized by another woman, especially her mother. So it's interesting. And there was a part that really bothered me a little bit because of, I don't know if I can share, but I've worked at a place where it's a funeral home, and terrible cases come through there of people dying, but one trigger warning, there's a threat in this book done to the main character when she is a baby, an infant, and it is like awful. And it bothered me because I have been a part of a funeral service where an infant died in the same way that she was being threatened in this, if that makes sense. So it just, it brought up those old feelings of just hating humanity and just questioning so many things about, like, why my hair is like that. They're just questioning things about why people do what they do, and it was hard to read. Like, it brought up icky feelings, but I'm powering through this. So yeah, but as a whole, with it being essentially murders and stuff, not bad, not bad. To wrap up this reading vlog. It is taking me forever, not because of the books or anything like that. The books have been great. I've just been in a funk, and as you can probably tell throughout this video, I've had 3 different hairstyles, so that should tell you exactly where my mental health has been the last month. So yeah, and then, like, I say this all the time, I have an 18-month-old, and 18-month regression is the worst regression we've experienced, so fun. Anyways, so one of the books I finished for this month, or for this reading vlog, is The Arc for the Devil's Tree by Susan McCauley. I gave it 3 stars. like from what I can remember, it's like it's a YA ghost spooky book, but it read as a YA, and that is really on me. I shouldn't have requested it, and it wasn't for me because I just did not like the main character, which typically I don't have any issues with unlikable characters, but for some reason she just rubbed me the wrong way with all of her just just everything about her was not fun. But the story was okay, and I just thought it was like middle of the road, so I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was alright. Another book that I finished was Roost by Kenya Moss-Dyme. I should choose a side to sit on, huh? I gave that 5 stars, 4.5, 5 stars. I thought it was really good. It reminded me of a lot of Tales from the Hood movie from I think it's from the 90s, and it's kind of like Tales from the Crypt. But it was really good, and I enjoyed the mystery and the gore and stuff like that in it, and the author is such a good writer. I'm trying to hunt down all of her other short stories and short little novelettes and stuff like that. So yes, 5 stars. And then the next book I finished is Monstrosity, which I gave 5 stars, and it's by Laura Diaz de Arce. And I really enjoyed it. All the shorts, it's a collection of short stories, and all of them are different in little ways, and I really enjoyed it. And she has such a writing style that I am in love with, and you have to give a little bit of thought to her writing style, if that makes any sense, because there's some people that just write, okay, this is what's happening, blah blah blah, and it's super easy to read. It's at like face value. But her writing, even the stories that you would think would be kind of like that, it's not. Like, you get more into the characters' emotions, thoughts, stuff like that. So really appreciated it, and I thought it was really good. And a lot of her stories in the book have like a really deep meaning, and yeah, I really liked it. It was very good. And then the other book that I finished, but I didn't really talk about, I don't think I like talked about it at all once I finished it, but it's True Crime by Samantha Kolsnick. I enjoyed this one. I don't know if it's considered splatterpunk. I'm not 100% sure. The story is, I don't know if I even talked about it really a whole lot. I think I did, but the story follows a brother and sister who are going across country after, okay, I was just making sure on the back, after killing their mother, and they go on this like killing spree, and it's really good. I like the fact that you kind of empathize with the main character, which I forget her name, but the main character, you empathize with her because of just her childhood traumas and stuff like that, and it just makes you question like serial killers, and like, is it environmental, is it biological? Like, that's what I was thinking about the whole time, because it just, you feel terrible for her because she just goes through so much stuff, and then just whenever things are happening that they're in control of, and killing and stuff like that, you almost like understand why they're doing it. It's interesting. And the ending was different than what I was expecting. It almost felt like 2 different books, almost. I don't know how to describe it, because I thought the whole book was just going to be on this trip killing a bunch of people, but that's not the case at all. So I liked that. I thought it was refreshing. I gave this 4 stars. It was very good, and I look forward to reading more from Samantha, because this was different, and I like that, because it's refreshing to read about a female character who she's a victim, but at the same time she's the one killing. So, and reading it from from a female perspective, and then all the bad stuff that's happened to her is like completely different than what you normally read or what I've normally read, with especially with male horror authors. It's just, it was like, it was tragic to read about and just hard to read about, but at the same time it was refreshing because it wasn't like gratuitous rape scenes or different. And I almost want to say it was even more tender, if that makes any sense. It's hard for me to describe, but it was different, and the story will stick with me because they just have moments in this book where I was uncomfortable and stuff. And obviously content warning, especially for this one. All of them have content warnings. Yes, all of them have content warnings in some way, but this one, I feel like it's a little bit more brutal with certain things. Very good. Very good. So, though I'm so sorry that this reading vlog took forever. I just don't know why I'm dragging my feet with it. But now that I'm back in the swing of things, I'm hoping to like stick with this. I have my next idea for my next reading vlog, which hopefully doesn't take 2 months to film and edit and stuff. So, but have you read any of these books? Did you enjoy them? Are you gonna pick them up now after watching this? Like, just let me know in the comments down below. And hair-wise, which hairstyle did you like the most? Long and blonde, long and darker reddish, or short and darker reddish? Let me know. I had to cut my hair though because the ends were so damaged. I could not, it was just in balls of knots at the end of my hair, so I had to cut like 5 inches off. I was fine with it. I wasn't attached. I'm never attached to my hair, so I didn't mind. But it's very refreshing and it feels good, and I'm happy with it. Okay, enough about my hair. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.